Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to the one of the first videos in the Marvel United X-Men campaign. So I've done the videos on all the first Marvel United stuff that came out, which had Avengers, Spider-Man, all the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, all the cinematic universe type characters, the Defenders, all those cool guys. So this set is all based on X-Men. So I've already done the unboxing for the core set, which I have in my hands right here. And I'm going to be doing a series of videos on all of the other new expansions. So of course we have First Class, X-Force, Phoenix Spy, Days of Future Past, Deadpool, Special Fantastic Four cameo, Age of Apocalypse way up here at the top, Blue Team, Gold Team, stretch goals, we got special dashboards we'll go through, plastic tokens, some extra locations. So there's a lot of content. Each one's going to be its own separate video, but if you want to know a little bit more about gameplay, I probably either done it in the original Marvel video, or I'll end up maybe making a new one with the X-Men characters. So there's a little bit of that. So I'm just going to hop in on what is in everything. I just wanted to do a quick setup on the beginning of these videos. So if you enjoy whichever video this is, check out the rest of them to see all of the other campaign for the X-Men sets that are coming out. So without further ado, we'll jump into this video. Hey everyone, it's Jason. So we got a Marvel United, X-Men United video, so you can check out all the other ones. I've done the unboxings for Marvel, I've done them for X-Men now. So what this is add-ons that came with the X-Men expansion. Some of these came in the original Marvel United. I didn't buy them at the time, because I was like, I don't need them. But these are upgrade components. So what we got here is we got X-Men on this side, we got regular Marvel on this side, and they are thicker cardboard dashboards for the villains and locations. So the original ones are kind of a little papery thing, and not that they're going to get wore out too much because they basically sit there, but like you can catch the edges and this and that. But yeah, I figured I've already spent so much buying all these expansions, I'm going to get the upgrade components. So we're going to just do quick run-throughs. I'm not going to read off everything on these. We're just going to kind of do a brief show through on what's in these boxes. And we also have the plastic tokens, which we'll look over really quick, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time going through each and every one of these. But just so you have an idea of what's in this, if that's what you are interested in. What's also nice about the locations is, and even potentially the villain ones, if you for some reason found these on sale, like I think these are all Kickstarter exclusive products, but if you found them on sale secondhand, you could pick them up. Okay, maybe I don't have Magneto, the actual figure for him, but you could try and use his dashboard, except you wouldn't have the cards. So these might not really be viable unless you just want to upgrade your set. But the location cards, on the other hand, very well could be purchasable. So we're just going to crack this open and look at it. The other upside of these is all of the villains in this, for the original Marvel set, have been reprinted with the new special supervillain mode. So if you're not familiar with that, in the X-Men base set, they have the villain mode listed, so you can play as a supervillain by using certain cards. So this lets you do that. So all the X-Men characters come with this. So like, here we go. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. So we have Rhino. So now he has a supervillain thing printed. So if you want to play one of the heroes, or one of the people, one of the players can play as the Rhino. So instead of randomly just flipping over the next card from the master plan and seeing what it is, you get to draw X number of them. I want to say it's like 3 of them. I might be wrong on that number. But you get to draw them. You get to choose which one you play. So there's a little bit more strategy, human elements. You can kind of combat, so it makes the game a little bit more difficult. But because you have that person actually thinking and get to choose, hey, I want to move 2 spaces instead of 3 spaces, and they get to choose what card, you give the heroes extra tokens to start out. So it just depends on kind of the difficulty of the villain. So like Rhino, heroes get to start with 2 extra move, 2 extra heroic, or Venom, they only get to start with 2 heroic. So now all of these cardboards are going to come with those on the back for all the original characters. All the X-Men ones already have them, but now they're reprinted on the backs of these. If you don't want to rebuy this for those, I'm going to show them off. You can copy them off that way, or you can go to the website for this, which I'm guessing is probably just one of CMON's websites, and they're going to have them listed on there that you can actually write them down. You just won't have them printed, but you could leave a list somewhere, or maybe print off a sticker if you'd like to do that. But yeah, these are thicker cardboards. You have Kingpin and MODOK and their starting stuff. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on each one of these because there's a lot. But we'll look at each one in the back at least. So if you want to sit there, so like here, Dormammu, you get a ton of counters because of what he does. So that's actually fun. Corvus Glaive. Plus, you just see all the different villains. If you didn't see the Marvel villain videos or you haven't watched them, these are the characters that were all in there. We got Hela, and then Krang. Now, Krang doesn't have one listed. That's because there are certain villains that are not supposed to be played in the supervillain mode because of the way they play, or like their effects and stuff. They just don't work right. Like, if you want to finagle and figure it out, that's up to you. But they're basically saying, we made this mode. These guys are playable. These guys aren't because of the way they work and their cards work. It just wouldn't make sense. There are a few characters that you're not supposed to. Here we got Bullseye, who also gets Misdirection. Supervillain card must be removed from the deck during setup. So you have to take out one of his cards because maybe it's too powerful or it doesn't work right if it's not randomly drawn. We've got Carnage, of course. Plus, it's also fun getting to look at these so you can see all the different things. Like, his is just rules, bam, villainous plot. His has this overflow chart where everyone has a little bit different stuff. Vulture. And then, regardless of the number of heroes, they lose if the Vulture obtains 12 spoils. So it's kind of fun there. And then, Zemo. Baron Zemo. Helmet Zemo, I believe. So there's all his stuff. We got Mysterio and Sandman. Well, how many Sandman? 4 move, 4 attack. Some illusion, some villainous plots. We have Electro. He doesn't get anything special. Not exactly sure why. Crisis token can be placed in a location. You already placed one. I thought all locations have a crisis token. Might be maybe because it's too easy to win with him. That might be a reason too. Not for sure. I don't think they ever really gave a reason why. There we got Thanos and Dr. Ock. But standalone gameplay with no Infinity Stones and no power-ups. But yeah, it's a fun concept. You get play, you also get superhero and supervillain cards. So you have other effects you can play as well. We have Ebony Maw and Proxima Midnight. 4 wilds, that's fun. And they're different things. Ronan the Accuser and the Black Dwarf. I loved reading the Black Order comic book with Black Gorp, because he's a big giant guy, but he's actually very smart and intelligent, but everyone just kind of sees him as the big dumb brute. So that's the part he plays. Here we got Green Goblin, and of course we have Loki. Loki only gets 2 heroes, and he's not as much of a threat, I guess. It's actually a fairly simple thing to go, but that's fine too. Ultron and Killmonger. Red Skull and Taskmaster. And you can see how thick these are. I mean, like, I'm not popping them out, but you can see they're a lot thicker, a lot sturdier. They're not going to get dented. So we're also going to get this. We're going to get some of the cards for Plan B. Just came Guardians of the Galaxy. So you'll replace those if you want to add those in there. Plus weak spots found, which were from Sinister Six. So if you want to use these thicker cards instead of the ones they came with. And then you have the little tokens that'll cover up stuff on the Sinister Six board. Then we actually get the full return of the Sinister Six board, which is, octagon. Hexagon. Like I say, octagon. Only 6 sides. So yeah, that's where you get to play your weak spots that go on the bottom. They cover up down there. Yeah, so that's definitely fun there. We get this big giant board we can pop out as well. Alright, so that is, look at all those boards there. We're going to set those off to the side. We're going to look at the X-Men set, which is even a bigger box. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It had more boxes for this one. Or more villains and stuff, like boards, but they have less locations. So we're going to start off, we have Deadpool's board, with all his special rules. We'll just set that, we'll just lay that right down there. Then we have the Sentinels and Nimrod. And of course, their flip side. So we got, before we only had 1 big board, now we got 3 of them, because we also got the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. So you get 3 more big boards. So actually, I'm going to flip these over so I do this the same way I did the last ones. So we're going to actually start with, we got this. So we have the blue and gold side. We have defeat thugs and civilians for blue and gold team versus team. So you're going to get your little mode there. You're going to get this extra little thing right there. It's a little notch in there. It's kind of cool as well. So you can line it up with whoever won, or however you want to do that. Yeah, the actual extra thick boards for those. We are also going to get, so on the bottom we have our tracker here. That's going to come in a thicker board as well now. Plus we have the Train Hope and Cerebro, which are really fun extra ones you can put in where you have to have combinations of the 2. That actually be fun to just swap out 2 of the other things on there. And then we get the little smaller one for Phoenix Force Cyclops, who also has a supervillain mode as well. We are also going to get ones for the threats for the first 3. So now, if you only bought 1 of these, you're not going to have all of these extra ones. You're only going to get the excessive ones. So now since you bought both, you're going to get all of them. So there's Cyclops and Emma Frost, Phoenix Force, or Phoenix 5, Magic and Namor from Phoenix 5, and Spiral, who has this crazy board. Check to follow the little pattern. It's kind of interesting. No, then she has one on the other side. She doesn't have a superhero mode either, or a supervillain mode either, because she has all this extra stuff to do. This is team versus team mode, which is kind of cool. Special villain for that. But we do have a regular Spiral as well. So you can do that. We have Toad, Bob, and Pyro. So they have their own different stuff. Super villain additional spaces. That's kind of fun. Shadow King and Silver Samurai. So a bunch of cool X-Men villains. Onslaught and Sauron. We got a regular Namor and, you know, Mega Red. There's little Speedos. Mastermind and Mojo. Another villainous plot tracker. Those are always fun. Legion and Marrow. So Legion doesn't have a supervillain mode either. And I think that's just because of the way he's designed. It's a big giant personality card thing. So I have to see it. You know, you have to check out the Kickstarter stretch goal box to see what that's all about. Emma Frost and Lady Deathstrike. I almost wish the Emma Frost though would have had they would have just done slight alternate art without the X on her. I get why they didn't, but that would have been cool. Dark Phoenix and Deathbird. I love Phoenix in the X-Men Legendary game. She has one of her cards. It's so you do this, and if you do too much damage, you lose the game. I love that as a hero card, you can potentially turn evil and destroy everybody and lose the game. Brood Queen and Callisto. So they could have done a lot more stuff with some of these characters with extra tokens and extra things like that, but it's alright they didn't. Arcade and Avalanche. Better combination than Strife and Apocalypse. We got Bob, Agent of Hydra, and Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver on a team. Bob has one wild token. He's not really terribly worried about him. He's a fun little villain. He's in the Deadpool set. Doctor Doom and Super Skrull. Some Fantastic Four villains in here. Mr. Sinister and Sebastian Shaw. From the X-Men Blue and Gold sets. Sabretooth and Juggernaut from the base game. And then finally, Mystique and Magneto. Alright, so that is all of our character boards. So being that there's about 2 per every one, there is quite a few of them. Alright, so we're going to set those guys over here off to the side a little bit, and we're going to look at the boards. So you have the classic boards and the X-Men boards. So the classic boards were, I know, in the original campaign. I don't think the character boards were, but the location boards were, but they didn't have this nice box. But again, here's the thing, you're picking these up, you're moving them around. Yeah, they're not being done a lot, but it's also maybe help prevent like getting scratched up more because you have cards on them. So alright, we're gonna hop through these guys fairly quick. New York Police Headquarters. So on the back, it's just gonna say Marvel United. I don't think. Yeah, they do specify what set they're on the back. I'm not gonna flip them over to show that, but they will tell you. Like I said, so if let's say you bought just the X-Men sets, you didn't pick up the original stuff. If you can find the tiles, you can add these. You can add them to any game. The boards you can't, unfortunately, because you wouldn't have the deck of cards to go with it, unless you want to print off your own. But all these tiles you could definitely do, and it gives you that many more locations. Or vice versa, if you bought the Marvel ones and you bought a couple of them, but you're like, I didn't buy everything, or I don't really like X-Men that much. Even buying the locations, if you find these boxes, like if they ever come cheap and you can find them, yeah, more locations just add more to the game. Even if you're not a fan of that, maybe think you don't like Guardians of the Galaxy, but you use some of the areas they go to. Definitely fun. You have a Shield helicarrier. Shield headquarters. Central Park. Stark Labs. The Avengers Tower. The Avengers Mansion. The Golden City. This should be starting to get into Black Panther set. The Great Mound. Jabari Village. The Royal Palace. See, a lot of these came with 6 in every set, where most of the X-Men ones only came with, if they came with any, they came with 4. Some of them came with 2, some came with 1. We got Shuri's Lab. Warrior Falls. Slide these guys over. So these are the Spider-Man set. We got Brooklyn Bridge. Oh, there's a guy yelling down there. That's awesome. The Daily Bugle. You got Parker. Osborn Laboratories. You got a setup of just science labs. You got Shuri's Lab, Stark's Lab, Osborn Labs. You just need 3 more labs now. Oscorp Tower. Where you have tall buildings. We have Stark Tower, Osborn Tower, Baxter Building. We have Queens. Midtown High School. Alright, getting to Thor's set. We have Heimdall's Observatory. Odin's Vault. The Bifrost Bridge. The Asgardian Palace. The Throne Room. He's got his birds on there. His ravens. And Valhalla. I like it's like a portal. Just how it should be. So that's cool. Alright, Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. We have the Milano. Nowhere. Xandar. This is where the Nova hang out. Morag. It's where they got the Power Stone. The Collector's Museum. Kalan, that's the prison they went to. Hala, this is where the Kree, like Ronin, live. Yeah. And then we got Nevglar, this is where they forged the hammer. Up next, we have Doctor Strange stuff. We got some random ones. We got Sanctum Sanctorum. Doctor Strange. We have Just Asgard. I think these are from the Thanos set, different areas that he went to. So we also have Vormir. This is where they got the Soul Stone. Just New York in general. some Wakandan fields. Sanctuary, Thanos' ship. Thanos' palace. The quantum tunnel in the microverse. Titan. Thanos' home planet. The Avengers Mansion. So actually, I think I had your... Yeah, those are all from Infinity Gauntlet. And then these last ones are... The gold text are actually Thanos locations. I think you're only supposed to use them in the Thanos set. But again, your game, break the rules. Then the other thing we have are these location effects. So what these are for is you place them on the bottom next to these. So when you play your threat cards on there, they lay flat. Otherwise, if people were finding out you lay your card on there, it was kind of tipping off. And they're like, oh cool, I got this nice durable board, but my cards are always going to be laying at an angle. So they made these little effect things. It's just all they do. They sit at the end and they form enough to be a card. So that's pretty cool that they did that. Alright, so that is all of the Marvel United. Now let's look at all the X-Men locations. Alright, so we have the Muir Island Mutant Research Center. And then these on the back have the symbol up at the top. We are going to get Genosha. She's all in ruins. It's kind of a bummer. The X-Jet. Asteroid M. The Weapon X facility for Wolverine. A Sentinel space program. Enough stuff. We can do plenty of stuff in space. We have a hangar bay. Then we're going to get Xavier's Institute for Higher Learning. Our next set is going to be X-Men Blue. We have Excalibur's Lighthouse. The Savage Land. So these ones are only going to get 4 instead of 6. We also have Madripoor, which they added this new black box in here. It's ones you have to do. And then we got Mojoverse. Then for Gold Team, we're getting Hellfire Club Building. Limbo. Krakoa. And Shangalar and the Shi'ar Empires. Now we have Shangalar for Shi'ar. We have Hala for Kree. We have Xandar for the Nova. We have a couple different planets we can go to. Visit some alien races. Deadpool set gets Deadpool's apartment. That's it. Fantastic Four set. We got Baxter Building. There's another one of our towers. Latveria. The 4 Yancey Street. We got this for like Midtown. We can make a fighting around middle of New York. Mount Wundagore. And then for X-Men First Class, we have Island M. Magneto's like first base. The Cape Citadel, where they fought the X-Men the first time. We have Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. We have another school, just the older version. And then we have X-Force set. We have Murder World. For arcade, we have Strife's Secret Base. The Morlock Tunnels. And the Adirondack Mountains, which is Cable's X-Force base. And then finally we have the Apocalypse set. We have the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse's Pyramid. And the Starlight Citadel. So not nearly as many locations as the Marvel one. We are also going to get 6 more of these tokens, just in case. You bought this one, you didn't buy the other one. And then finally we're going to get from the first class, we have the danger room. So this kind of replaces one of these on the bottom. Adds an extra bonus, so at the end of turn you can gain a training card. It's just kind of fun that they made that as well. And that adds a lot of locations. So look at all of these locations here. Let's see if I can get all of these in camera at the same time. That is a lot of different areas. If you bought all the Marvel and all the X-Men expansions, and since you only use 6 at a time, this gives you plenty of gameplay value. Which is why I also said if you can just pick these up, and you don't own all the games, definitely a good buy. Alright, so the last thing we're going to go through in this video, there was an alternate buy. The only other thing that's an alternate buy that I did not pick up was the playmat. They had one at the original Marvel campaign. I was like, I didn't get it, partly because it's a giant circle, and you needed 60 inches on your table. I would barely have enough room on my table for it, so I was like, I don't know if I want it. I almost picked up in the X-Men campaign, because it had a flip side for the teamwork mode. I was like, ooh, that's really fun. But then I realized, as you start adding all these other alternate modes, like the Sentinel and Sinister Six and all these special modes like that and other things, lots of these, they wouldn't work with the boards and stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to skip it. It's going to barely fit my table. It's expensive. So that's the only thing I didn't get. So now what we have here is the 3D token set. So what this is it's 3D versions of every single token that came in every single game. Now it's not a one-to-one equivalent. So like the base game came with, let's say 20 health tokens for X-Men, and then it came with 20 for the Marvel set, the Avengers one. We didn't get 40 of them. We got 20, enough to cover if it had one base set. So any ones that were duplicated over multiple things, same thing with like the civilian tokens and the thug tokens and stuff, they gave you enough to cover one base set, not one for everything. But anything that came in another set we got. So I'm going to just crack some of these open and we'll take a look at them. So we got like the hidden identity from, I think this is the Loki set. I might be wrong. We have KO tokens. These are nice, solid plastic. They have indents in them, which are really fun. Trying to kind of see if I can show that off a bit. Invincibility tokens, and they're all double-sided. Multiple man tokens. Here's the cameras from the Spider-Man set. Seems like the hashtag kind of sticks out. And then like flip it over, it's a little camera on the other side, so it's really fun. Then we also have all the health tokens, which are actually neat. So they have little extra. And again, I'm gonna apologize for my terrible hands, but that little extra thing indents on there. So when you put two of them together, they slot together. So this is a really, that in itself was almost a selling point for me. I mean, I like the tokens anyhow. Just because, again, the cardboard ones are fine. They're not going to wear out super quick. But it's nice having, if I was, again, spending so much money on this game, they're offering upgrades, I may as well take it. But now look at this. I got five or six tokens here. I got 6 of them. I can do this, stack them together. They're not going to tip over on me. I need to pull one off. Oh, I just slide one off really easily. So that is a really awesome feature for these health tokens. So let's see what else we got in here. If we can, without them shooting all over the place. So we're going to get some of these acceleration and deceleration tokens. The location tokens from, I believe, the Wakanda set. You got some Doombots, in case you need some Doombots. Spiral token. I don't remember what half of these are for anymore. I think that one might be for Sauron. So this is another pack. They're listed like this is number 2. It's the same as that other one. But you're going to get your crisis counters, your movement tokens, your heroic tokens, your no BAM tokens, which is actually fun because it's reversed on the other side, so it's not just a duplicate print. Your DNA tokens for Mr. Sinister, wild tokens, so lots of fun stuff like that. Your skulls. They kept the civilians and the thugs one on each side, which is really fun because lots of times you just have to flip them over. So we got 3 packs of those. We got a bunch more tokens there. I'm not going to open all of these right now because they're all the same things. Some more health. More health and Madroxes. We got these. We got the plan tokens. Whoops. The numbers on them. We got our big giant sentinel tokens. Trackers. So you can keep track of which one. And they're, look at this. They're very durable. I mean, I could probably snap it in half if I... There's an acceleration and a deceleration counter. I think there's one other pack that had some other ones in there. So, like, yeah, here we're going to have the Senator, or a targeting token from Sabretooth. There's a Senator Kelly token in there for Mystique. Boom Boom's tokens. Iceman's ice counters. Plus we get the blue and red, or not, blue and yellow gold locks for the team mode. And again, they only included 6 of them, 3 of each, because that's all you'd need. Even though if you bought the, you bought both sets, you'd have 6 total. You'd never need more than that. So here's your counter for that. Really fun. I like it. The trays in here are actually kind of nice. Yes, they're gonna hold them. That's probably maybe the only downside of this, is that I could dump everything in here, but because there's no cover on the top of this, as soon as I put this back in the box and I tip it upright, these are all just gonna dump out into the box. Because here's the box. It's just a cardboard box. There's nothing to hold it in there, so they're just gonna dump out and it's gonna fatten that box up. So that's probably the only downside. I'll have to find another container to hold all these. But then again, I probably already had one for all the other. I have one for all the other counters, so I'll just swap these all over into those. All right, so that's what I have for extra stuff for Marvel United. So if you like that, cool. Just so you know what these all are in case you see them online. See you guys later. Bye. Hey, I wanted to just do a quick add-on at the end of this video for the tokens. So I sorted them all out just so we can see what they all are, so you can see how many you're actually getting in a box. So you're going to get 12 of each of the fighting, movement, and wilds. And then you'll get actually 18 heroics, because there's a lot more threats that use heroics. The health tokens are stacked in piles of 5, so you got 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 30, and there's an extra 2. I don't know why they didn't have an extra 3, so it's an even number. But that's alright, so you get plenty of those. You're going to get a bunch of crisis tokens. Of course, then you're going to get all your thugs and civilians, which again are all double-sided. So it should hopefully be enough just to last anything you're going to need. Was there 3, 4, 5, 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 of them. So that should hopefully be enough. 6 threat tokens. I think Plan B cards from Guardian of the Galaxy uses up to 6 of them. We have some Doctor Doom Thug tokens from the Fantastic Four set. Some Jamie Madrox Multiple Man tokens from the Kickstarter exclusive sets. We have Bomb tokens for Boom Boom from the Kickstarter. Ice tokens from Iceman from First Class. The 12 DNA from Mr. Sinister from the Blue Team. Up here are double-sided tokens as well. These are hostage tokens. There's each one has the colored on the front. Others have the symbols. Those are used for Mojo villain. We have the 3 Sentinel tokens, which are also double-sided, so you can mix them up so you don't know which one's which. From the X-Men base set, we have the Hunted token and the Senator Kelly token for Sabretooth and Mystique, respectively. We have the Lock tokens for X-Men Blue and Gold. And like I said earlier in the video, you don't get double copies for every set, so there's only going to be one set and one set of tokens. Because you're only going to be able to play one, so you ain't double up on that stuff. We have a couple of 4KO tokens for various things. So it's duplicated on both sides. Invulnerability tokens. Plan tokens, which have numbers 1 through 6, or they say plan on the back side you can shuffle. Those are fused with Kingpin. From the original Marvel set, we have some... Oh, just trying to get a better light. Acceleration and deceleration tokens are double-sided, which were added in the Marvel base set. Some cell phones and some press badges for the Spider-Man set. There's 2 of each of these. They just show there's a backside of them. We do get 6 BAM tokens. This is the only one that is double. There's 3 in the blue set and 3 in the gold set. And they only doubled them up because there's multiple characters in each box that use them. So they just want to make sure, in case you are playing a team versus team with 6 characters, you have enough to use for each team. So that's the only reason those ones got doubled versus everything else. We have the Secret Identity tokens from the Asgard set. 2 Hypnosis tokens for Sauron. So 2 of each of these 2 tracking locations for the Black Panther Wakanda set. And that would be all of the tokens. So yeah, there's quite a different spread of everything you're going to need. The only thing I could think you're going to potentially run out of, so if there's ever a question, like, if I have the chance, should I buy a second set? I could see maybe potentially running out of action tokens if you're, depending on who you're playing and maybe if you're hoarding them. But I think generally you're going to gain, 2 or 3 at a time, and you're going to use them up very quick. Possibly team versus team games, just because there's so many people. But I think you're going to use them quicker than you're going to store them up. Sort of the same thing with the Thug and Civilian tokens. I don't know if there's any maps that are going to have enough spaces overall to control. Because again, if there's 6 maps out and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that means that'd be 6 per each board. I think that's probably the most you're going to get of any board, so unless there's another villain who has something that like holds off tokens off to the side as well, I don't think you're going to run out. And then threats you shouldn't run out because you're going to need 6 anyhow, 1 for each board. And of course, Multiple Man and Dr. Doom tokens you could potentially run out, but both of the rules are generally going to say if you run out, that's what happens. Same thing with most of these other ones. You only need 12 of these because that's how the game works, unless you want to up the difficulty or do something different there, like mod the game. But rule-wise, you wouldn't need any more. 4 players, so you only need 4 invulnerability tokens at a time. Same thing with most of these. I could see a KO 1 per player. Crisis tokens might be the other thing. So crisis and action tokens potentially, possibly health tokens, because there are some things where you could potentially have about 6 henchmen that all have health, plus the main boss would have health. But there's 5 in each pile, so I mean it's 6. So that might get iffy depending on exactly what characters and which henchmen you use. But I think they probably have it designed so that a henchman's number of health plus the villain's health is never going to be too many. All the rest of these, You shouldn't need more because that's what they're for. So I don't think it's probably justifiable to buy a second box, unless you also want to make sure you have extra pieces in case something gets lost, because that'd be my only other fear. Actually, when I was going through, I was missing one of my wilds because one of my bags popped. When I was opening them, popped open, and some fell on the floor, and I was missing one wild token. And I was like, oh crap! Like that'd be weird. They sent me an odd number, and I did find it. So that'd be the only, I guess, the big reason why I could see potentially buying a second set. Is that if you lost one of these somewhere, you'd have replacements, because some of them you need the exact specific number. Like you only have 6 of these, you only have 12 of those. But on the other hand, if for something you actually did lose one, you should hang on to the ones from the game. Alright, so I just wanted to show those off quick. See you guys in the next video. Bye.